Welcome to the deep dive.
Great to be here.
So today we're tackling something quite concise. It's Mansi's trading tip number 78.
Just one tip, yeah. But it packs a punch.
It really does. And look, even if trading isn't your thing, you should stick around. Because this, well, it digs into the mental game.
Exactly. Stuff we all face when trying to master, well, anything, really. Or just trying to get out of our own way sometimes.
Right. So our mission, let's say, is to really get under the hood of this tip. Understand what it's telling us about emotions, mindset, and achieving, I guess, mastery.
Yeah, mastery or just consistency. It's about that connection between feelings, thoughts, and, performance.
Okay. So Mansi's tip starts off. Trading mastery doesn't mean being emotionless.
Yeah.
Now, on the face of it, that sounds, well, obvious. We're humans. We have feelings.
Right. But think about high-performance fields, trading, sports, surgery.
Yeah, there's often this pressure, isn't there, to be super rational, almost robotic.
Totally. Like emotion is the enemy. This tip challenges that straight away.
It says, hold on, that's not the goal.
Exactly.
Ugh.
It acknowledges that, look, trying to just shut down emotions, it usually doesn't work, not long term.
So it's not about eliminating them.
No. It seems to be more about, okay, they're there. Let's understand their role, their impact.
Okay, that makes sense. Which leads right into the next part. It's realizing that the inconsistencies are all in your mind.
This is interesting.
Yeah, this one made me stop and think. Because usually when things go wrong, what do?
Blame the market, bad luck, Mercury retrograde.
Yeah, exactly. We look outside, but this points the finger, well, inwards.
Right. It suggests the root cause of our, let's say, erratic results or unpredictable behavior.
It's internal.
It's in our heads.
Think about it. You can face, almost the same situation twice, but react totally differently.
Good point.
If it was just the external stuff, shouldn't your reaction be more consistent?
Logically, yes.
So this implies our internal state, our mindset, how we interpret things. That's the variable. That's what causes the inconsistency. So when our actions don't match what we know we should do, the problem isn't necessarily the plan, it's us, our mind messing with the plan.
That's the idea. The disconnect is internal, when we act against our better judgment or our strategy.
Okay, give me an example. Not necessarily trading.
Okay, well, like your budget example earlier. You know the budget, you have the plan,
Yeah.
but then impulse buy.
Right. The inconsistency is me deviating from the plan I set.
Exactly. Same in trading. You have rules. Sell if it drops X%, but then fear kicks in or greed, and you either sell too early or hold on too long.
Driven by the emotion of the moment.
Right. The inconsistency isn't the market doing its thing.
Yeah.
It's you not sticking to your thing because of your internal reaction.
Got it. Okay. Inconsistencies. Internal mind stuff. Makes sense.
And then comes the final piece.
Yeah, this is the bit that feels like the real key. It finishes. And it's the stories you choose not to believe anymore.
Powerful, isn't it?
It really is. What are these stories? We're not talking fiction here, are we?
No. These are the narratives we tell ourselves, the beliefs we hold about our capabilities, about how things work.
Okay, so in trading, a story might be what?
It could be anything, really. I always mess up trades. I'm just unlucky. This time it's different. The rules don't apply. I'm not smart enough for this.
Right, those kinds of internal scripts.
Exactly. And the thing is, these stories, even if we're not, consciously thinking them all the time, they run in the background.
And they influence our decisions.
Hugely. They can shape how we perceive information, what opportunities we see or miss, and ultimately what actions we take.
Wow. So if you deeply believe a story like, I always lose when I get close to winning,
You might subconsciously find ways to sabotage yourself, right?
to make the story come true.
It becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy.
It certainly can. So the power, according to this tip, comes from first recognizing these stories, bringing them out into the open.
Becoming aware of them.
Yes. And then actively choosing, deciding, okay, is this story actually true? Is it serving me? And choosing not to believe the ones that aren't helpful.
Precisely. It's
Yeah.
like saying, okay, I hear that old story playing that I'm not good enough track, but I'm choosing not to buy into it today. I'm choosing to act based on my strategy, not that story.
That requires a lot of self-awareness.
It does. It's not easy. But it shifts you from being driven by the story to being the one who decides if the story drives.
This really resonates way beyond trading, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, think about relationships, career choices, learning new skills.
Any area where mindset is key. Someone avoids public speaking because their story is, I'm terrible in front of crowds.
Or someone stays stuck because their story is change is too risky, or I'll probably fail anyway.
Exactly. Those internal narratives create inconsistencies between what someone might want and what they actually do.
So recognizing and challenging those limiting beliefs, that's fundamental to growth anywhere.
It really is. And that's what's so neat about this trading tip. It's distilling a pretty profound psychological concept into something very practical.
Yeah, it's saying the hard work isn't just learning the technical stuff.
A big part of it is the inner work, managing your own mind, your own beliefs.
Okay, so let's try and summarize the core message here from Mansi's tip 78.
Go for it.
Trading mastery, or maybe just any kind of mastery, isn't about being cold and emotionless.
Right. You can't, and probably shouldn't, switch off feelings.
It's more about understanding that when things go inconsistently, the source is often, well, us, inside our own heads.
Uh-huh. Those internal wobbles.
Driven by the internal stories, the narratives we've bought into.
Yeah, the beliefs about ourselves and the world.
And real mastery, or at least progress, comes from spotting those stories and consciously choosing not to let the unhelpful ones run the show anymore.
Choosing to believe something different, something more empowering, perhaps.
It's about managing that internal landscape.
Beautifully put. Taking conscious control of the beliefs that shape your actions and therefore your outcomes.
So here's the takeaway thought for you, listening.
Yeah, something to ponder.
What stories might be running in your background? Maybe totally unrelated to trading, maybe about work or learning or anything.
Stories that could be creating those inconsistencies, right? That gap between where you want to be and where you are.
Exactly. What are those stories? And, maybe more importantly, what would it actually look like, feel like, to choose not to believe them anymore?
That's a question worth exploring, a real deep dive for yourself.